Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Olivia. How are you all doing? Finally, today I can able to get back with my video. This is a long overdue video. This is I want to do a video on how to, I just try to experiment how to do bokeh background with pencil. Like I'm really lazy. It's not I'm lazy, but I like to find a quicker way and an easier way to achieve a nice background. And so to do something like bokeh background in pencil, which is require a lot of layers, um, I'm not really like to do it all the time, but I really want to try something new and I want to see how much I can push myself. So here we are in the video. I post the end result of this background on my Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I promised that I'm gonna upload a video on how I achieve this background. And there's so many things happen lately, and I couldn't find myself have time to editing the video because I want to talk to you guys. I feel like a video which is music, like, and no talking is not my thing. I really like to go through with you guys all the steps that I done and why did I do it, and what when you do it, what can you achieve with it. Is that worth to go through that extra step and extra things like that. And so I want to do this bokeh background in sort of like a green grayish color, that is from the bottom to like a dark green, and then go as it's go upwards is turn into a light blue, like a gray blue sort of color. And this is a really challenging for me because I sometimes, like for example flowers or like extra detail, I can spend quite a bit amount of time, but usually background is something I don't really spend a lot of time. But I do have a lot of fun doing this page, even though I was struggling through it, and I will tell you what I struggling. So this is a combination. It's just repeating color because you have to layering to achieve a very complex look. Because when you see a let's say you go to Pinterest and you just type in bokeh background, which is like a term in photography, where the background is very blurry and it just sort of turn into just blurry and nothing really like visible, and it just have like sort of like a circle light just peek through. And when you look at them, they have so many color because they blurry, so all the color kind of emerge into each other. So to achieve that kind of look, we have to, that is not really other way to achieve it with pencil, that you have to layering. And even though I really layering, but it's not up to the point that I'm gonna spend hours and hours on the background. And so I just start with a 50% warm gray at the start. I use a combination of warm gray and a really kind of warm green, and go into like sort of like a warm but like cool tone blue as well. So as you can see now, after I did a little bit of gray, obviously all the circle you have to draw in at the start. Use your stencil or like the ruler that have the circle cut in it, and you just draw in many circles, not too many. Depends on how many circle lights that you want to. I don't really want a lot. So I do quite a bit, but then do in different size. You can do overlap as well. I highly recommend you use sort of light pencil color. Like for the at the start, I use a 10% warm gray to sketch in the circle. That's why you don't really see the circle, and when you color, you just at the start you just leave them white. And then at the end we're going to fill them in with colors, and I will talk to you about that later. And so you can see the after I add in the gray colors already, I going with the lamp hue. All the color I use is from Prismacolor because I think Prismacolor is excellent to do bokeh background. Even though I love my polychroma, but I think you know Prismacolor is really good for bokeh background, especially like they're very soft and buttery when I do a long, like require a lot of time to do a background. I like to use a really soft pencil. That's why I don't really hurt my hand, and because I'm very opaque, you just use lightly pressures and it's already laid out a good amount of colors, pigment, and so it's really easy to layer on top as well, and it's easy to burnishing. Sorry for my head keep picking in the background. I feel like when I get frustrated with coloring, I tend to really look closely to the picture and that is when my hair keep you know getting to the picture frame. And so you can see I spend quite a bit amount. I try to keep the speed really in real time for you guys. Obviously I gonna cut the time when when I change the pencils and when I sharpening the pencil. I don't include it in the footage, but the speed is real time in this video. And so and I keep the pencil a fairly light as well. I do really light brushes, and now I add in the pale sage. As you can see, I try to stick with the combinations of the colors that I know it's gonna go well together, because this is really something different for me. I don't do it all the time, so I just scared to ruin the whole page, because this is a really pretty page. And I I would say, you know, I I have a little bit of hard time with this page. I just feel when I first started is feel very patchy. It doesn't look very nice. I feel like the transitions from the dark to the light color, from the green to the blue, is not turned out very well, and I feel very defeated. What I would think at that time, like I spent so much time into the background and it not turn out as what I like. But I don't hate it, and I push myself through it. And the reason why is I consider is as a learning process, and after all is this is a fun, it's supposed to be a relaxing and fun hobby. Is a fun activity, and I don't feel like it's really necessary to beat myself up when it's not turned out as what I imagine in my head. Now I look at it, I don't think it turns out as bad as I thought it would be. I think I did a fairly good job with this page, and I would love to challenge myself again in the future. And so a few of you guys have asked me on Instagram to talk about like how do you how I keep myself like not giving up on the page when it's not turned out as I like. And like I said earlier, is for me is a learning process. I like to learn new things. I love to explore new technique, And of course, when I learn something new and if it's easy and if it's effective, I would love to share with you guys. So I don't think it is something that I really upset about after I done. For me, like, if it's done, then it's done. I don't feel like it is worth it to be upset over it, or I don't feel like, oh, now I mess up this page, I gonna buy a new coloring book. I don't feel like every page is in my coloring book that have to be perfect. And don't get me wrong, I have no against as people that they feel so upset that they want to get a new book. I don't feel like, you know, those are bad. I don't say that. It's just, for me, I don't, it's not up to the point that I'm like, oh, I hate these things, I couldn't look at it. I take it very lighthearted. Is learning. So obviously you're gonna make a mistake. That's why it's called learning. You're not good at anything at straight away at the start, unless you're like genius. But for me, it's still learning for me. And I don't do this all the time. And the reason why I don't do this all the time is because I'm scared of it, and I feel like I couldn't achieve a good result with it. And so I thought, oh, this time I finally ready for myself to do something new. So I don't feel like I already prepared in my head that if it's not turned out as what I imagined in my head, that is fine, and it's absolutely okay to feel like that. You it's okay to feel like, oh, it's not turned out fine, and you're okay to feel upset about it. But don't beat yourself up over the little thing, like what people told me, when I think it's not looking good, but for a lot of you guys it still look absolutely perfect. And it's not for them, is nothing wrong with the picture, with the page. And so, maybe when you feel frustrating with the page, like for this page, I don't sit in one seat and coloring. I do half of the page first, and I would say the first half, the left of the page, is a disaster. It's not a disaster in a way it finished, it's a disaster in the processing, because during the process, even though I blend out the color, but I don't really know, oh, what color should I lay down first. Like, would it be okay to layer the green over the blue? Would it look muddy? And so on. So I have quite a bit of struggle with that, and I feel like it's not done out as well. Like, I even though I don't hate it, but I feel I lost the motivations. And one of the tip that I would give you when you're feeling like that, you're feeling that way, is you close the book, you put it away, you can start a new page, or you can walk away and you do something else. For me, I just leave it. I just left it. I don't think about it. And the next day, when I start a new half of the page, I feel like I have an experience. Like, I can rule out, what step is not necessary, a necessity. What's the word? It's not necessary in the process. It will make my life my life harder. Oh, how dramatic. But you get what I mean. Is I feel like, oh, now I know it's not a extra step that I need to take. I could make it a little bit easier. At this color, I could make it a medium pressures. I don't have to do a light pressures, and it would turn out okay still. I know that this color go in quite well together now. I know that is not turn out so bad. I know that, or if I layer this color on top of this color, after all the layer, it's not gonna be look as good as it should be. So that what I did, and I just, I just work on, just close the book, and I just starting something else. You can start on something that you like, maybe get another book and do and color flowers if you love flowers, or if you try this technique with a pencil that you don't use all the time, for like this, like if you do this technique with polychromo and you don't really polychromo is not your charm, then maybe just start it with another page that with Prismacolor maybe. And when you do that, you get in your comfort zone again, and it will make you feel a little bit better. And when you come back, you have the time away from it, you look at it, and that is when is for me is feel like it clear my head, and I can see, oh, what's the problem with this page, what did I do wrong, what should I fix, like all that sort of thing. So you can see this half that I demonstrate for you, it look like I know what I'm doing, but the first half is just a mess. And that's it, what I feel when I post the picture is I just done first half of the page, and I don't feel like I did a very good job. And when I say I didn't do a good job, it doesn't mean that I'm so upset about it, I didn't do a good job. It's just saying that, oh, I don't think I did a good job, I can do better. That's what I mean. It's not like I upset and I feel the need to whining about it. It's not. It's if you are an artist, or like it's not an artist, but people will tend to not please with what their result is. It's just a very normal thing. It's very normal. So don't feel like you are different. Everybody could go through the same thing. So when you compare yourself, let's say I compare my background with a better colorist like Christian, for example, or Cherry, I think her name is Cherry, and I see all those pages all the time, and they did like amazing with pencil and with Prismacolor. I was like, I can never really bring myself to pick a combination. How did I think about a combination that works so well together? It's so unique, but it still work well together. Why can't I think about it? But I did a better job. Not better than them, but I did a better job with polychromo, because I used to polychromo. I use them a lot. I love them. So that's I have more experience with them. I explore the color more with them. That is the reason why. And when you think about it, it's nothing to be upset about. I just think, oh, maybe I should learn more about Prismacolor. That's why I've been using Prismacolor a little bit more often. I start to learn to love Prismacolor, even though they break on me all the time and they're so soft. Sometimes I don't really like fun of the soft texture, but I think when it comes to background, I think I really love it, because it makes the job is so much easier. And there's back to the picture, back to the background, I just have one thing that remind you that if you try to color along with me, make sure you do quite a light layer and you building up, and at the end you can sort of burnishing, because as you can see we start to adding in a really dark color. I think if I would recommend to you guys, I would not recommend you use black, because black is very difficult colors to add in and not overpower other color. If you have a heavy handed, it's gonna be really difficult, because once you add in the black, and if it's already dark, no matter how much you erase it, it's still gonna be look a little bit muddy. So if you're gonna do this, I would highly recommend you use a 70% or 90% warm gray instead of black. So it's not completely black. And even though if you use those color, make sure you're going quite light if you're not really sure how dark you want to be, because Prismacolor is really easy to blend. So if you want more dark, you absolutely can add more brushes and make it darker. So that is the only thing I would remind you of. And yeah, that's it I want to say on that topic. That's it, just how I feel. It's just a fun learning thing. And after this page, I feel whole lot more confidence, and I feel like, oh, I can tackle down another page which is easier, but maybe not, because then I want to do a different color combination, which is going to be a bit harder. Every time you do something new with a new color combination, it's going to be a bit different. But yeah, I'm not upset about this, but I just, now I look at it, I'm really proud of myself that I pushed through all of this, through all the hours, and I feel like it's pay off, is really different, and it's really, in my eyes, I feel like this is probably the best bokeh background that I ever done. And if a little bit funny because I feel a little bit upset. It's not upset about what I done, but it's like, no, I did the best with pencil. Now if I want to do bokeh background, I'm gonna have to do it with pencil. Only pencil. So that is the problem with it. But yeah, it's okay. Is I think the only thing a little bit challenging for me is when I go through all the little detail inside the flowers, and I was like, if this supposed to be the background area, or is this just the flower? Yeah, so that is the only problem. So let's talk about my update. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry that I left you guys hanging for a while. I don't know when the last video that I upload was, that like 3 weeks ago, or like a month ago. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm not gonna say that I already got back to a normal schedule, but I try to, maybe I should do a shorter video, maybe just like under 15 minutes. Then I can do I can upload a little bit more regular. But the thing is, when I start to color, it's hard to, just to like sit for like 15 minutes. But this day, I find myself a little bit lack of time to coloring. I want to coloring, but there's no really time for me. And I am doing visa now. I wouldn't want to say if you're gonna success or not, because usually I don't know if this Western culture have this quote, but I think in Asian culture, when they say when you want a success at something, you shouldn't say it beforehand, you shouldn't plan ahead, because usually it will be a failure. I don't know if it's true, but it's just the things that old people say, old wise people say. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to say it's gonna be success. I think it'll be fine. It's just really difficult now because a lot of people want to stay in Australia, and it's just so many people want to stay here, and I feel like is the process got a lot harder, and it feel very defeated, like for example, when I say I'm doing the visa through my it's called partner visa, where because I marry my husband, and my husband is an Australian citizen. So you would think, oh, it would be completely fine, it's be easy process, because if you know me, my relationship is true. But with the government, obviously they don't know about you, so they need all these evidence and stuff. And a lot of the evidence is, like, you need a statement from your friends, you need a lot of photos, like outgoing photos, especially photo with other people, because they act as a witness. And it is really hard for me because I don't know if you know before. I think I don't share a lot, but I have quite a bit of anxiety, and I'm not very socialized person. So when I say I don't socialize person, is I don't have friend. I don't have anyone. I don't play with anyone. I mostly, even not at school, or if I not go out with my husband, then I mostly stay home. I don't really go out alone, and it's due to the fact of what happened a couple years ago. And I feel like the things happened when I was so young, and I was so vulnerable when I first come to Australia, when my family wasn't here, and I feel very it was really a difficult time for me. I think everybody cope with the situation differently. It's feel very is it's just very iconic because I'm studying psychology, and even though I know what is the reason behind for my for my anxiety and my stress, it's still very difficult to cope with it. They say when you fall into the holes of depressions and stuff, is it easy to crawl in, but it's really hard to grow out. And even though you try hard and hard, but sometimes it still knock you over. And I'm not saying it's just just to complaining with you guys. I just try to explain my situation here, and I feel like you guys are more than just a internet person. You guys, YouTube is more a place for me to share my thoughts, to from it's a place for me to come in and just relaxing and be myself. And I feel like you are my family, you know you my sister, you my brother, and you know and you guys support me so much, and I feel it's real. It feel really real for me that you know all this time that I finally feel that that I worth something. That's what I feel. I feel like I'm losing myself for so long that I feel I feel like I wasn't worth it. Even though like when I hear the problem from other people, because um I'm doing the psychology, so obviously a lot of people will come to you and talk to you, even though they're not really my friend. My friends, it's more about my husband friend. I think I think they want to know me and stuff, but it's really hard for me to open my heart. I listen to their problems and such, and I give them, and not like give them advice, but it's like you know what I mean. But yeah, it's hard for me. So the paper is really difficult because I don't take a lot of photos. We don't go out. We don't know a lot of people. Like, we know people, but I feel like they not know me enough to write a statement. Let's say, how do they know what person I am? What a person I am? That's difficult. So that is making me a little bit. It's not upset. It's just stressing me out so much because you want to be with your loved one, right? So yeah, but it is we still try our best to go through it. And so another thing is my dog is have puppies. So she is 2 years old, and she gonna have she gonna be a mother. No, she's not gonna be a mother. She already be a mother, and she is nursing the pup now. So the pups is currently 2 weeks old, and we have only three. She originally she have four. This is her first litter, and we're not planning to do any more litter with her. The boys is already sex, so yeah, they're not gonna be another babies because I just feel like it's not really worth it. We just want to um, did one time. It's more like an accident, but yeah, it's not really an excuse for you to have a little puppy. But we're not gonna sell them. All the puppies have found home already. They're gonna go to our friends, my husband friends, which I know. Even though I don't know them a whole heaps in a as a person, but I know they know the breed because my dog breed is not something that everybody can handle. They are very stubborn, and you need a lot of training with them. I think because before in my area they have buckler around, and Steve and my husband have to, not at home all the time with me at night time. So he get really worried. So he gonna get he got me two dogs, and plus because of my depressions as well. So he said, at least there's someone gonna be friend with you, and I love them. They are my children. They're my friend. They listen to me, even though I don't know if they understand me, but I still talk to them anyway. Who doesn't talk to their dog? It's such a thing. And so it's good. We have three, which is good because I don't want she have a too big litter. Then I can't help her too much for me to handle. Even with three, it's really new for us. We try our very best to take care of them and everything. Yeah, and so just really fun and everything going great. And so as you can see now, let's get back to your picture for a minute. As you can see, I start to go to the top and it's from green to blue now. And if you watch my how to pick color for coloring page, you would know blue and green is very contrast from an opposite position of the coloring wheel. So is very different from green to blue. Is two totally different colors, and to get from a really green, dark green, gray green color to a blue is really difficult for me, but I try my best, and that's why I sort of pick a blue that have a hint of gray color as well. And obviously, as you can see, I add in the 10% gray at the top as well, the underneath layer, so it's have a little bit of gray going through. And yeah, now I look at it, it's still not transition very well, but I think next time I can do a bit better. And if you see the butterflies, they are from stem. I got a set from Aldi. A lot of people ask me why Aldi is a grocery. Why do they sell pencils and stuff? Because I think a few times I did say I got a marker and pencil from Aldi. I'm not sure about Aldi in any other place, but in Australia, where my place is, oh, sorry about my dog. They sell different stuff, like special stuff every week, and sometimes they have pencil, sometimes they have baby stuff, sometimes they have dog stuff. It's just different every week. And I saw they have the stamp set, is the butterflies and stuff, like stamp to do card. Yeah, so I got one, and just I want to see like what I can do with these in coloring book. Would it make my life easier? And I think this butterfly is really cute, so I did a few stamp in it. I try to see the reason why you see like some of them is light and some of them is quite dark is because I never used stamp before, and I try my best to just experiment to see, oh, if I do lightly stamp, would the pencil go like cover the ink better, or should I do dark? And I think it's not really doesn't matter. It just depends on how you do the butterfly. I think like for certain stuff, yeah. So it's not. It's I think I go overboard with the butterflies a little bit. It's too many butterflies to be honest. But I think it's add a nice touch to the picture, and I'm happy with it. And so you can see now I just adding in the white, and I just try to burnishing it down. You see the table kind of shaking because I really want to burnishing it down. Because I want a really light color. It just like kind of resemble the sky at the top, and maybe the green color is like where they adding in the grass. Let's have the grass and stuff. And now now we're going with the circle, and so the rules that I after I try with the other part the side, I think I would highly recommend you use a light color for the bubbles on the dark area. For example, here at the green area, I just reuse all the color that I have been using. Okay, I use a periwinkles. It's a green, it's a blue color. Adding in a few, which is like kind of dark color as well, but it's still lighter than the green. And it would be nice because you adding in the color that is appear on the top to the bottom, so they look like they belong to each other. And so you adding in, I think I use a 10% warm gray. It's just adding in 10% warm gray. You can leave them the light circle white as well, but I wouldn't want to leave them just uncolored because even though if you look at the picture of the bokeh background, even though the light circle is really bright and light color, it still have a hint of the color. It's not completely white. So I would highly recommend you use really light color, like light gray, light yellow. I will use a green in this case, and you can see I start to use some green color. I just try to like thinking, oh, should I add this color next to this color? That's what I do. You can use light green as well. I think that was nice. It's just reusing some of the color that I already used in the background. And yeah, that's it. So I did the top bit of the page. I just did some really light color, so it's not really much to show up there. And it's really cool is you can use your erase the one electric eraser, and I just erase some of the areas, make it more, have more light circle. And that is it for this page. Now you can see I start to kind of, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I just adding in the color for the butterfly, and I want to show you. I don't want to show you all the butterflies that I color in, but I want to show you if you're gonna use stem and pencil, is look absolutely fine. I couldn't find the ink that have black. I couldn't find black ink. They don't sell black ink with the set, but they come with a dark green and dark blue, which is kind of weird, but I choose a dark blue one. And I will show you. I will, it's not a problem. Some of them you see it's kind of blurry because the first time I stamp it, and it's not really, some of the part is missing. I think because I didn't press the stamp down the ink properly. But yeah, all the line outside I'm gonna go in with the black color, so it's not really cause any problem. And then I just adding in some white gel pen at the end, and it look absolutely fine. It look, I wouldn't say it looks stunning, but it look okay, it look good on itself. And now we go for the ground. So the ground, I want the box is actually sitting on the ground and not just, you know, like floating around. So I decide that I'm gonna go in with the watercolor, because I feel like I fed up with using pencil for the background already. That's why I didn't do the whole background. And for some reason the paste kind of like resist the color, the water a little bit. But what I do here, I just adding in kind of like a grayish brown color. And you don't have to use watercolor, you can use Intense as well, it's work well. Or you can use the what is that one, the crayon, the watercolor crayon. Then if you use those material, then you don't have to mix color yourself. I just like to going with the watercolor because it's so quick, it's much easier for me. It's just so quick. And after, you know, doing all that pencil for the background, I just feel like I want something really easy and in my comfort zone. And don't worry that it look a little bit patchy, because you know the ground is not even anyway. So you don't have to worry about anything. Even you use with the Intense, I think it will turn out quite well as well. And we're gonna add some detail on top of this background as well. And you can see I already done the, you know, the layer, the base layer for this. And you let it dry, make sure you have to get it dry. And now I'm gonna add in the shadow, because it still looks sort of like floating. And I sort of confused myself, I was like how the shadows of this box gonna look like, because I don't really know. So I think I did it quite wrong, I'm not really sure. I think I did it wrong, but it doesn't matter now, does it? So I want the light I feel like I should have let the light from behind, because that where's the all the light source appear. But for some reason I want to do it on the sides, so that was weird. But yeah, so I'm going with the dark brown, dark umber in this case. And because you add the watercolors or you use Intense, it's gonna give you a lot of tools to work with, and you can put on the pencil very easily, and it's not gonna like, you know, give you a hard time or anything. It's gonna be really quick. As you can see, I go through it really quick. And yeah, so after you do the shadow, you can oops. So after you done the shadow, you can see I use the same brow. I just doing some wiggly lines on the background, and this is kind of like I show it look like a little bit of dirt, you know, because it's uneven. So I just feel like I wanna do to represent the little bit of dirt that, you know, on top, a little bit higher than other area. Is that make sense? I don't know. And then you just adding in a little bit of the color, just blend it out a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's just a line there. It can look a little bit funny, but you don't have to add in heaps of color. I just go in quite lightly so it can blend into the watercolor. And then now I use a white, just you adding in the top just a little bit at the top, just to make sure it look like, because it's higher area, so it's gonna have the light hitting it. I would highly recommend you use a gray, the 10% warm gray color, better than the white one. But I just want to use the white one because the one is like very obvious highlight. And now I'm gonna draw in some rock using the dark umbers again. Very easy. You just do random shape. And then you're gonna add in the colors, just do one size, and adding in shadows and such for the rock is look more lively and not just things floating on thing. And then now you go with the what is it color, Russian green, and just adding in some grass. And that is all for this page. We done the whole backgrounds, and I hope you have a fun time chatting with me, hearing me talking about a lot of things. If you like this video, please thumb up, subscribe, and share with your friends, and remember to leave comment too, and I love to read your comment. And yeah, and I see you in the next video. By the meantime, take care and happy coloring. Bye.